So today we're going to look at the power of a power rule for exponents. The power of a power rule states that if a base raised to a power is being raised to another power, the exponents are multiplied and the base remains the same. That's kind of wordy. So let's take a look at what that means. Okay. So here you'll see that this is the rule. You will see this on your star chart. Okay, this is the power to the power rule. So here we have the base A, exponent M, and it's being raised to the nth power. Okay, so what the power to the power rule says is that the exponents are multiplied together. So what does that look like? Okay. So here I have my problem of 2a, and my a is raised to the second power, b, and all of this is raised to the fourth power. How do I know that? Because it's inside the parentheses. Okay. The easiest way I can tell you is treat this just as we would our distributive property. So that exponent 4 is on each and every one of these. So let's expand it out. If I do that, get rid of the parentheses, I have 2 to the fourth. A, now here 2 times 4, because my power of a power rule says I'm multiplying those together. And then I have B. What is the original exponent that my b is raised to? Well, 1, so I have fourth. And now I simplify. Well, what is 2 to the fourth power? Please do not tell me that it's 8. It is not 8. Remember, 2 to the fourth power, we just multiply. That's the same as saying 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Did you get 16? You should have. When in doubt, put it into Desmos. Okay. Then I have my A, and what's 2 times 4? You got it, that's 8. And then my B, 1 times 4 is 4, and that is my final answer. 16A to the 8th power, B to the 4th power. Okay. And there it is again on our slides that we've seen in class. Okay, but I wanted to show you how that worked. So now let's do some practice together. Okay, so here I have z to the 5th. Remember, and everything is raised to the 3rd power. So what does my power of a power say? I'm going to treat those and multiply that together. So I have z 5 times 3. And what is 5 times 3? 15. Okay. Now let's look at number 2. Yes, number 2. I know you see the parentheses and you see the 0 and you see a lot of exponents, but that's okay. Let's take it piece by piece. Let's work with getting rid of our parentheses first. Okay, so what is inside the parentheses? Only that h to the 7th. So h to the 7th, okay? Anything raised to the 0 power is what? I hope you said 1. So this is now 1. I bring my h2 down. So I have h to the 2nd power times now an integer of 1. That's right. H to the 2nd. That's it. Okay. Now, I know a negative exponent, but that's okay. Let's deal with the negative exponent first. Okay, let's deal with the negative exponent first. So everything inside this parentheses is raised to that -2. Remember, negative exponents are a no-no in math. So let's get rid of that negative exponent first. How do we turn that frown upside down? How do we get rid of that negative exponent? Well, we send everything to the bottom. So the first is I have 1 over, still rewrite it, 10m3 raised to the positive 2. See, I got that. Okay. Now, let's distribute. Now, that 2 needs to be distributed to everything inside of that parentheses. That second power is on everything. So if I were to expand just my denominator out, I have my 10 to the second power and my m to the third power. And what does my power to a power rule say? I multiply these. Do not leave the answer choice like this. Why? Because it is not simplified. How do we further simplify that out? Well, 10 to the second power. What is 10 to the second power? It is 100. It is not 20. It's not 10 times 2. Okay. And then I have my m. What is 3 times 2? You got it, 6 over 1. And that is my answer. Okay. So take a look, try number 4 on your own. Okay. Deal with the parentheses first. Then worry about this A on the outside. Let me give you a few minutes to see if you can deal with that one first. How did we do? Okay, so let's just kind of check our answers together. So you dealt with this one first, the exponent on the outside. Remember, it is distributed to everything on that inside. Okay, so I have 4 to the second power. Okay, and A, did you get the 3 times 2? Okay, let's simplify this in the inside first just to see how we are. So here I have 4 squared. What is 4 squared? I hope you told me 16, not 8. Okay, and then A, 3 times 2, that's A to the 6th, right? Now, I still have my A to the 5th. We are not done, okay? So we're working on power of a power rule. So now we need to go back to the last lesson on our power and product rule. What does that say? Well, if our bases are the same, here we have our A and our A, what do we do to these exponents? Did you say Adam? You are correct. So to simplify, our final answer is 16A to the 11th. How did you do? Now let's look at the last one. Here I'll call this one number 5. So the first thing is distribute this 6 to everything inside, right? So I have 3. Currently that's raised to an exponent of 1. Okay? So 1 times 6 is 6, so I have 3 to the 6th. B, negative 4 times 6 to the negative 24th power. And C, negative 2 times 6, negative 12, times C to the 3rd. Okay. The next thing that you're going to need to do is, you got it, same base, take care of these. What do we do with the exponents? Add them together. I'm not touching my 3 to the 6th. Leave that be. My B to the negative 24th. And now C, what is negative 12 plus 3? Negative 12 plus 3. Did you say C to the negative 9? I hope so. Okay, it is C to the negative 9. Remember, when in doubt, plug it into Desmos. One of the rules I always think to myself is whenever we're adding integers, okay, whenever we're adding integers that have opposite signs, meaning one's a positive, one's a negative, you're going to subtract those two and keep the sign of the larger number. So in this situation, subtract what's 12 minus 3? 9. The larger number was 12, so it's going to be a negative 9. You know the question I love to ask, are we finished? Nope, we're not. Why? Because we have a big no-no. Do you see it? I have negative exponents right here, my B and my C. So I'm going to send those to the bottom, flip it. I am not sending my 3 to the 6th power to the bottom. Why? Because it's not a negative exponent. So what is 3 to the 6th power? 729. Did you think that that was going to be that big of a number? I'm surprised you, right? Okay. And then to get rid of my negative 24 attached to my B, send it to the bottom. I have B to the 24th power. Same thing, C to the 9th. Have I simplified as far as I could go? Yes, that's the answer. Y'all are doing such a great job. So let's just move on to the slides. So these are the same slides that you saw in class, but in case you can't read my writing, went ahead and just printed those out for you. Same thing here. Remember, first on this one, I used the power of a power rule. Then I had to use the product of a power rule. Yes, we're going to be using all of these rules and sometimes within the same problem. Okay. This one, I know you initially saw it and you probably got a little scared. You didn't want to touch it, but now you are the pro. Okay. Finally, try these on your own. Okay. You got this. Try this on your own. So here are the answers for the on your own problems. How did you do? I know that the bonus was a little much. I know I challenged you, but you know you did great. Okay, let's just take a look at our bonus problem. I want to show you how I got the answer. Here is our bonus problem. So the first thing, and what I'm going to do is, let's deal with this negative exponent here. Now, ask yourself, that negative exponent of 5, what is it attached to? Hopefully you just said that it's only attached to that x, not that 5. So that 5 stays on top. I'm moving my x to the 5th, to the bottom. Okay, I'm flipped it just because I wanted to get rid of that negative exponent. Okay. I'm going to put my y squared. And now let's deal with our parentheses. I'm going to take everything inside and I'm going to distribute this. Okay, so now I have 2 squared and x to the negative 28. Okay. What don't you like about that? Did you say this negative 28? So how do you get rid of it? That's right, we're going to send it to the bottom. So let me rewrite this. So I'm left with 5 y to the 2nd. Simplify this, please. What is 2 squared? It's 4 over x5, x28. Okay. We are not done yet. We still have some simplifying to do. 5 times 4, here are coefficients. What is that? 20. My y squared. And then bases are the same. What do we do with our exponents? Add them together. X to the 33. And there's your answer. As always, if you've struggled with any of this, I've also included another YouTube. So check out my YouTube channel and come to tutoring. Remember, Tuesday afternoons, I reserve tutoring in my classroom just for you, just for algebra. So let's have fun and work some of these problems together.